Hello, it's Ginny Fay with Real Estate One, and I am here again with Ben Williams from Benchmark Mortgage Company. And boy, a lot's been going on lately in this past week. I mean, unbelievable with bank foreclosures, interest rates, and so on. So I wanted to bring Ben in and say what's happening and what does he think is going to happen in the future.
Well, Jenny, thanks again for having me. I appreciate it. And you're right. I think you and I both have been fielding a lot of calls lately from our clients, and sincerely upset or concerned about where the interest rate's going to go and how this is going to affect their future. And when it comes to real estate, the interest rates and how these banks react is very critical when it comes to your value of your home and the future of your home. The one thing that I do see a lot of whenever there is a crisis in the market like this is that interest rates typically respond very favorably, in which they did this past time around. Once the bank went into default on Friday, and the federal government stepped in, guess what? On Monday, the interest rates adjusted favorably and lowered. And I think that process or that progress is going to be carried throughout the calendar year.
Good. Yeah. Okay. Because I'm hearing that we're going to have lower interest rates in the fall and towards the end of the year, possibly in the low 5s or 4s. What's your prediction?
I'm seeing the same thing. And one of the great influencers or one of the people that I follow quite a bit for information, his name is Barry Habib, and he does really
excellent.
Yeah, he is. He's really excellent, and he's been pretty much spot on with a lot of his information and a lot of his progress information. The one thing that stands out to me when I listen to him talk is about how the interest rates will respond by the end of this calendar year. One of the things that he is saying is coming out is that interest rates will drop down, more than likely below 5% by the end of the calendar year. And what does that mean for your home? Well, that means there's going to be more buyers that are going to be out there looking for your home. Because money is going to be a little bit easier to obtain than it was back in November when the interest rates peaked at 7 from an all-time low of about 3.
Right.
So we're going to start to see those interest rates start to come down and buying power to go up towards the end of this year.
I agree. I think that's what I'm seeing too. And there's such a lack of inventory right now. And people are saying, should I buy now? Should I wait? It's a good time to get your house on the market to sell right now because there are still a lot of buyers out there, and there's a lot of cash buyers too, but there's more and more sellers are giving concessions for buy downs or paying some closing costs and things like that. So if they have to sell their house now for a reason because maybe they're transferred or whatever, don't worry about the interest rate, because you're married to the house when you buy it, but you're not married to the interest rate.
Exactly.
Because you can always refinance it when it gets down in your favor to be able to do that. Is that right?
Yeah, and that's what I've been telling a lot of my clients, especially now, because they do have that concern. And there's a lot of programs out there that help you out. One kind of what you alluded to, there's a 3-1 or a 2-1 buy down. And what that means is that a seller provides concessions to the buyer to buy down their points for first year, 2, 3. And although their rates are locked at a certain rate, say 7%, they bulk down those points to where there's more. If it's a 3-1 or a 2-1, then their first year payments is at 5% interest instead of 7% interest. And what we're seeing with buyers that take advantage of that situation is that then after 7 months, then they can refi out of that into a more favorable long-term fixed rate. That program I highly recommend over an adjustable rate mortgage. With an adjustable rate mortgage, the interest rate can go up well higher than the current fixed rate, and you don't want that.
No.
And
I agree.
With the 3-1 and 2-1, that's very favorable. The other thing too, if you're in a competitive market and the seller doesn't want to provide those concessions, or there's this outstanding house that a lot of people are climbing over, and the seller just doesn't want to provide concessions, well, you can still lock in your rate, which oftentimes is below 7% right now, and then after that 7th month, refinance it at the end of the year and get yourself a better rate. So there's a lot of flexibility that a lot of buyers have nowadays that they really need to take advantage of when they're looking at homes. And I think sellers especially are sitting on quite a gold mine coming
Oh,
up
yeah.
this year.
The equity that they
Yeah.
have in their homes.
Exactly.
But I think the bottom line is for anyone that's interested in thinking about buying a home, the first thing you need to do is go and talk to Ben and lay everything out, and then, okay, here's what I want, here's where we are, and then he can give you all your options, right? And so then you're well informed before you go and find a home that you absolutely fall in love with.
Right.
You're already approved, you're well informed, you know exactly what you're going to do. So
Well, that's the key to any type of transaction that you're going into. You want to be well educated, and you want to know what you have available. And a lot of times there could be buyers out there that just don't understand what a strong market or strong opportunity that they have
right.
if they don't sit down with a loan officer. And then vice versa, there could be some buyers out there that are stronger than they think, and they may need a little bit of adjusting with their finances to get them in a strong position.
Yeah.
But you don't want to go out shopping for, say, a car if you only have $100 in your wallet. You know, and that's the same thing with shopping for a house. You want to get that pre-approval so your heart's not broken when you're looking at a house to set your price range.
Right.
If you have that pre-approval letter, you have the terms and conditions, and you understand the different terminologies and the flexibility you have, and working with a lender that also works very, very well with a realtor, then that is huge, because the lender and the realtor work hand in hand for that singular client, and they will be able to provide the best information to provide a stronger offer for the client.
Very good, thank you.
Yeah.
All right, for any questions, Ben's always available. You can give him a call at
231-632-7888, or they can email me and text me at that same number, but you can email me at ben.williams@benchmark.us.
Very good. And if you have any real estate questions, you can always call me, Ginny Fay, and it's 231-360-7822. Thanks, and we will get back with you probably in a couple of weeks. Talk to you later.